can chip away at my stone wall. You can run to hell and walk away from me. Honey, you can shut my eye and I'll find a way to see. And I don't know who you are. You're not the girl I used to know. One more thing before you go now, darling. I'm not your baby anymore. Gamble on me and you don't think twice. Honey, you can cheat and lie and I won't roll or die. And what you want is what you'll get. Honey, you can take my love and go and add it to your bed. And I don't know who you are. You're not the girl I used to know. One more thing before you go now, darling. I'm not your baby anymore.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Welcome to Jams and Coffee in the morning. The Monday morning, beginning of the week. Everybody enjoyed their weekend. I know I did. It was relatively relaxing. Worked a little bit. Actually had Saturday night off, which was quite nice. And just kind of did a little kicking around, which is unusual for me. but welcome and lovely. Once again, I hope that you enjoyed your weekend as well. The weather was perfect out there. It was really, really nice. And we're going to keep going with that weather this week. It's a warm start to the morning here with temperatures in the low 70s to kick off this new week here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. This morning is mild and areas of fog are possible. And a partly sunny afternoon with a few pop-up showers are possible, but it's not going to be a total washout. A weak cool front is expected to pass through by midweek, which will bring less humid and breezy conditions by Thursday and staying dry through the rest of the week. Another cold front is in the forecast to pass through the area on Saturday, and this will bring chances for just a few showers this coming weekend and a slight cool down by Sunday. Highs this week will top in the mid-80s Monday through Wednesday, and the low 80s through the end of the week, while overnight lows fall into the upper 60s and low 70s. So still looking relatively mild as we move on through this week. We've got Phillips' not so irrelevant weather report coming out of Middle Tennessee. He said it's sunny and warm, and that's what they have in store today with temperatures of 80 degrees after an absolutely fabulous spring weekend, he said. A mix of sun and clouds this evening and milder temperatures for the remainder of the week, with the temps near seasonal for the mid and later part of the week, with mid-50s and lows in the high 30s. Still a little cool up there, Philip, isn't it? He said we'll take that after Friday's high winds and still have just under 10,000 people without power. Yeah, you guys had some mighty strong storms roll through there. He said power crews for surrounding states have come in to help. Even crews from Florida are up there lending a hand to help restore power. He also reminded me that next weekend is the time change again. I know. I feel like I'm still getting used to the last time change. This is really going to throw me for a loop. I've just gotten used to getting up at this hour and coming and doing this show, and now they're taking a whole hour away from me. It's going to be even earlier now. That's okay, because Philip says you lose that hour of sleep, but you gain back an hour of grill time at the end of the day. And, yeah, a little bit of sunshine at the end of the day is actually pretty nice. I'll admit that. All right. Got a few national days here for you. Dive right into those. Here's one for the ladies. It's National Dress Day. On March 6th, we observe National Dress Day by reflecting on memorable events when we recall dearest memories by what we are wearing. Dresses have been worn for hundreds of years, and today they come in a variety of shapes and designs, from long, mini, fit, and flare to the ball gown and A-line. There are many ways to celebrate. Throughout the years, dress designs have changed drastically. However, they still provide a distinctive look and one-of-a-kind fit, adding a level of poise and confidence to any event. Our most important day is to seek out the perfect dress. Maybe not me personally, but, whoever wants to wear them. For the occasion, whether it's a prom, an interview, a first date, or a big wedding day, National Dress Day gives us all a reason to relive some of our dearest memories. And we invite you to celebrate National Dress Day with us here on March 6th. Mike Lubeck tuning in. Good morning, Lubeck. Let's see what's next on our National Day list. Oh, finally, the day has finally arrived. It's National Oreo Cookie Day. Brilliant. Be ready to observe by having your glass of milk handy, as it's National Oreo Cookie Day. And this day is recognized across the nation each year on March 6th. The Oreo sandwich cookie is made up of 2 chocolate discs containing a sweet cream filling and is loved by millions. Since its introduction, the Oreo cookie has become the best-selling cookie in the United States. The National Biscuit Company, known today as Nabisco, first developed and produced the Oreo biscuit back in 1912 at its Chelsea factory in New York City. Today, the block on which the factory was located is known as Oreo Way. The name Oreo was first trademarked back in March 14th of 1912. The first Oreo cookies in the United States sold for 25 cents a pound in a clear, glass-topped novelty can. In 1912, the Oreo biscuit was renamed the Oreo sandwich. In 1948, the Oreo sandwich was renamed the Oreo cream sandwich. William A. Tournier developed the modern-day Oreo design in 1952 to include the Nabisco logo. Nabisco's principal food scientist, Sam Porcello, developed the modern Oreo cookie filling. There we have it. It's come a long way to become the nation's best-selling cookie. And they are good. Boy, I could eat a sleeve of Oreo cookies. Or a tray. Maybe not a tray, but one row on a tray. Oh, yeah. Open it up and smash it. Definitely not good for the blood sugar. Keeping it sweet here, it's National White Chocolate Cheesecake Day as well. Celebrated on March 6th, offers another way to celebrate one of our favorite desserts. This indulgent day inspires bakers across the country to wow us with their delicious creations. Cheesecake is a sweet dessert that's a mixture of soft, fresh cheese, cream cheese or cottage cheese, eggs, and sugar, made on a crust from crushed graham crackers, crushed cookies, pastry, or sponge cake. Cheesecakes can be prepared, baked, or unbaked, and are often served topped with fruit, chocolate, or whipped cream. Yum, yum, yum. There are many flavors in which cheesecakes can be prepared. However, this day honors the white chocolate cheesecake. Now, white chocolate is not chocolate in the strictest sense. It doesn't contact cocoa solids. During the process of manufacturing chocolate, the dark-colored solid of the cocoa bean separates from the fatty content. With milk or dark chocolate, these solids are reincarnated. However, these solids don't return to the mixture when making white chocolate. Additionally, white chocolate contains less caffeine than its darker counterparts. It also loses some of its health benefits as well, since it tends to contain more fat and sugar. Add it to an already rich dessert, and, well, decadence should be expected. So get out there and find yourself some white chocolate cheesecake. Or make it yourself. Lubeck says, look at the Oreo cookie itself, and those little emblems and markings mean something. I guess I'd have to go back to the photograph. You got to let us in on the secret. I don't think it's a very clear. I think they've actually, on this photograph, they've actually removed the Nabisco brand. I think for copyright problems. But let us in on the joke, or not the joke, but maybe the secret. As we move on to the next national day, it's National Frozen Food Day. Recognizes the preservation feat that freezing fruits, vegetables, and meats have on modern life. Celebrated each year on March 6th, the observance takes a look at how frozen food impacts our daily lives, its history, and how far it's come. The frozen food aisle is a standard at the grocery store today, as standard in the grocery store today is ATMs and self-checkouts. It's also a convenience we don't give a second thought to unless the power goes out. Some of you up there in Middle Tennessee know what we're talking about. American inventor, entrepreneur, and naturalist Clarence Frank Birdseye II receives credit for developing the method for flash freezing, preserve flavor, and quality of foods. Today, we see his name in nearly every canned goods and frozen food aisle in every grocery store in America. While food preservation by freezing wasn't new, Birdseye discovered the key was freezing the food quickly. Flash freezing forms small icicles, which prevent the cell walls from bursting. Large ice crystals turn the food to mush. Birdseye applied for many patents, but one of its earliest is from 1927 for a process to flash freeze foods. Consider that in 1930, only 8% of American households had refrigeration units in their home. A frozen food patent in 1927 was a visionary step in a long chain of events to make frozen foods a marketable product. In 1930, the Birdseye label, owned by the General Food Corporation, began selling 26 products to 18 retail stores in and around Springfield, Massachusetts. Clarence Birdseye continued his work with General Foods Corporation. Birdseye died on October 7th, 1956, but the name and products he inspired continue today. In 1954, Swanson introduced the first frozen dinners. At the time, the consumers knew them as TV dinners since they were designed to be eaten in front of the newly popular television. Special folding trays called TV trays stored conveniently away when not in use. But when dinner time rolled out, they unfolded for each person's TV dinner. Everyone gathered around the television to enjoy their meal. These pre-cooked meals only needed to be heated through in the oven and be ready to eat. No cooking skills were required. Preheat the oven and cook for the required length of time and enjoy. The invention of the microwave also changed the types of frozen foods, just how convenient these items can be. Over the years, other frozen foods have developed to meet consumer demand. Various family-sized meals, health-conscious meals, and even organic meals have hit the market in recent years. So there you go. A little history there for frozen meals. You can thank Birdseye for giving us the flash freezing technique that's used today to preserve the nutrients and the texture of the food that we get to enjoy right out of the freezer. What else do we got today? Oh, yeah, here we are. And with all those sweet things, it's National Dentist's Day. Go figure they'd pull that all together. National Dentist's Day on March 6th sets aside a day each year for us to say thank you to the person who keeps our pearly whites in tip-top order every 6 months, or 6 years, or 6 decades. In many cases, the day of our dental visit usually has us a bit nervous and sometimes anxious. We would often rather be someplace else than sitting in a dental chair. The dentist is not the person most of us look forward to seeing. However, when our checkup is done, our teeth are cleaned, cavities are filled, the broken tooth is fixed, or the toothache is gone, we appreciate what the dentist has done for us. The dentist is also the person we count on when a tooth aches or an emergency occurs. Make sure our oral health isn't signifying something more serious. Their offices send out reminders encouraging us to come in for our routine checkups and schedule us for appointments. They create plans of care and make our smiles look great, too. So take some time to thank your dentist. Send them a card. While you're at it, schedule your next preventative cleaning. Or pick up a new toothbrush and some floss while you're there. There you have it. Those are your national days today. We think that every day is a day to celebrate, so we're happy to give you some reasons if we can. And those are the ones for today. So eat that cheesecake and go get your teeth cleaned. How about that? All right, friends, we're going to take a quick musical interlude. When we return, we'll get into some news, some interesting local stuff going on. We'll let you know about, and we got some entertainment news to touch on as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jams and Coffee this morning. Here's one from the Nouveau Honkies. This is 2 Doors Down from Paradise. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It was Tuesday afternoon. The sun was shining down. It didn't stop the rainfall and the steam danced on the ground. I was drinking courage from a flip-top can, and you were somewhere wondering how and where I am. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. Wednesday brings the paper and the funny page. The mirror shows the miles and the paper knows the age. Me, I felt better, but I felt worse. A different pen and paper, you just rearranged the verse. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. Here comes Friday evening, the lights are on the stage. Lightning wolf and mud and Texas swing the purple haze. $1 in my bucket, you name a song to play. And listen to me all night long and don't hear a word I say. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. 2 doors down from paradise. We the roadies, we the soundmen, we the singers, we the bands. So give us all some credit, give us all a hand. You'll be going home soon to your little hell. We'll be up here on the stage playing with ourselves. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down, yeah. Still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. 2 doors down.
All right, we're back with Jams and Coffee in the morning. The Nouveau Honkies there. That was also a live look at downtown Stewart. Keeping those beautiful days in check. It's lovely down there. I was just down there yesterday performing at the Sneaky Tiki, which you could actually see in that shot if you're watching the show. It was a great time. I had a wonderful brunch yesterday morning. I had the biscuits and gravy, a favorite of mine, and a lovely crowd there. Some good friends bobbing through, and it was nice to see them. All right. What do you say we get into the news here? Some interesting news coming out of Fort Pierce. Kind of excited about this. I just to preface, I'd seen this vehicle pull up at one of my gigs. I was performing at I believe it was Chuck's Seafood in Fort Pierce there, and I saw 2 of these vehicles show up, and the doors opened up, and people got out, and then they took off. I didn't know what it was all about. I meant to look it up and see what was going on. Now I don't have to. A new company called Freebie. It offers a free way to get around parts of Fort Pierce. Let me tell you the story. Beginning Thursday, clearly when I saw these, it was a dry run or a dress rehearsal of some sort. But beginning Thursday, there will be a new free way to get around Fort Pierce, and it's eco-friendly. Freebie is an on-demand, 100% electric transportation service. It's a partnership between the city of Fort Pierce and the Fort Pierce Redevelopment Agency. At 11 o'clock a.m. Thursday, there'll be a ribbon cutting at 600 North Indian River Drive. Freebie's on-demand service will be available to the city Thursday through Sunday, beginning at 10 a.m. each day until 8 p.m. on Thursdays and Sundays, and 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Freebie will pick up passengers at their doorsteps and safely deliver them to their destination of choice within the service zone. The current service area encompasses downtown Fort Pierce and stretches across the bridge to the north end of the island on the beach side. Destinations include the Sunrise Theater, St. Lucie County Aquarium, and Jetty Park. Freebie operates a fleet of more than 125 electric vehicles with 230 plus full-time drivers in more than 30 municipalities and campuses in Florida, including Delray Beach and Virginia Beach, Virginia. That's not in Florida, though. But for those of you up there in Virginia Beach, you probably already know what we're talking about here. Well, this is new to us. Jason Spiegel, the managing partner of Freebie, said in a city news release, "We're dedicated to solving some of the most challenging problems for communities, which include getting people to leave their personal vehicles at home and providing a convenient option for people to get where they need to go. We're excited to partner with the city of Fort Pierce and share the city's vision in providing innovative transportation solutions." Freebie's trips are financed through local governments as part of municipalities' public transport networks, and also by private entities such as corporate business parks, hotels and resorts, and university campuses, according to a news release by BP Ventures, which has invested $6 million in the company. Previous service launches in other municipalities have proven to increase economic development, help decrease traffic congestion, provide equitable transportation to all, and reduce carbon emissions through the usage of 100% battery-powered vehicles, according to Joe Sweat, a Fort Pierce communications specialist. The Ride Freebie mobile app can be found in the App Store or Google Play. Users in need of accessibility accommodations or do not have a smartphone can call 855-918-3733 to request a ride. So there you have it. And these are not just like the scooters that they had, which were very cool. These are full-on cars. So similar to Uber, you call it and you get it up on the app and it shows up at your door or wherever you happen to be, and you get in and you go to the next spot. I think it's cool. So it seemed pretty reasonable when they showed up at my gig and people just got out. So we'll see how that pans out. I'll follow this story. I think it's quite an interesting thing. Do any of you out there have a similar service? Doesn't necessarily have to be Freebie, but I'm sure there's other companies that are doing something similar for your area. Let me know. And if anybody's tried this service, I'd love to know about it as well. It looks like something I would give a shot and see. All right. Next up, here are some local news. The time has come. It is the season. It's sea turtle nesting season. And you know what that means. You got to be careful out there. So if you're headed to the beach in the next over the next few months, you want to be on the lookout as sea turtle nesting is officially underway. Staff with Loggerhead Marine Life Center said 3 nests have already been spotted on our beaches, and now the challenge is to protect them. Sue Pohanka, visiting from New Jersey, said, "I would like to know what type of turtles they are. Are they threatened? And if they do lay, how do we protect the eggs?" Great questions there, Sue. Pohanka is visiting West Palm Beach with her friend Miley, who are from Virginia, and they're curious about the nesting season. They ask, what can we do to protect them? Make sure we're not walking over their nests and squashing them. I'm sure they'll be well marked, but I'd like to know more about them. The two said they went by Loggerhead Marine Life Center, which has launched its nesting season awareness campaign. It's called Respect the Locals, as the area is seeing a surge in people from out of town, naturally. Justin Peralt, the director of research with the Loggerhead Marine Life Center, said it's really important that we use that campaign, that we're saying the locals being the sea turtles, of course, and use our beaches every single year to lay their eggs. We get a lot of snowbirds that may not know the rules and regulations around sea turtles. Staff from the center said they're working around the clock to find the nests and mark them off to protect them from beachgoers and keep track of the population numbers. Usually, at the end of June, early July is the peak season or the peak of nesting season, rather. With Loggerhead Marine Life Center, the record is 524 nests in a single night on a 9.5 miles of beach. So it's really remarkable out there to see these animals do their thing. Peralt said they documented 18,000 nests last year. He asks beachgoers to avoid digging holes in the sand, as the mother and hatchlings can fall inside and get stuck and be cautious with umbrellas, as there may be an unmarked nest. Sea turtles return to the same region where they were born. So if you have a turtle that hatched here in South Florida, it'll return to South Florida. Doesn't mean the exact location, but somewhere maybe from Martin County to Miami. He said all sea turtle species are protected under local, state, federal, and international law, so they are threatened and endangered species, meaning they are covered under the Endangered Species Act, so approaching them is against the law. Getting too close to a nesting turtle could also spook the mother and cause her to abandon her nest. Peralta went on to say they're having, to evade all the predators on the local beaches, and they're dealing with plastic ingestion, boat strikes, climate change, habitat loss, and all of these things. For a turtle that small to survive from a few grams to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds is kind of my favorite part. Maybe not hundreds of thousands, hundreds to thousands of pounds. He went on to say, if you're by the beach at night, it's important to remember not to use any white light. Loggerhead staff said it confuses the turtles on which direction they should go. Instead, you should use a red or amber light, to which the turtles are less sensitive. In the mornings, they said we'd look for clues that they leave in the sand, so each species has a unique crawl. They were able to tell what species actually laid the nest. Right now, we only have leatherback turtles on our beaches, so come May, we'll start to have all three species. As mentioned, sea turtle nesting is from March 1st all the way through October 31st, so be careful out there on the beaches. I'm going to share them with our turtley friends as well. Getting into some entertainment news. Some sad news coming out of the Lynyrd Skynyrd camp. Gary Rosington, the guitarist for Lynyrd Skynyrd, has sadly passed away. He's the last remaining original member of the band. He was only 71 years old. The band announced Rosington's death in a post on social media just yesterday, revealing that the legendary musician passed away earlier in the day. He's survived by his wife, Dale, and their daughters, Mary and Annie. The post says, with our deepest sympathy and sadness, that we have to advise that we lost our brother, friend, family member, songwriter, and guitarist, Gary Rosington, today. Gary is now with his Skynyrd brothers and family in heaven and playing it pretty, like he always does. The band also wished for privacy for Rosington's family as they grieve, writing, please keep Dale, Mary, Annie, and their entire Rosington family in your prayers, and respect the family's privacy at this difficult time. The cause of death was not immediately known, but Rosington has experienced health issues over the past few years. Back in 2019, he underwent a heart procedure to address what he described at the time as a leaky heart valve. After a quick recovery, he returned to the stage just 3 weeks later, but he had another setback in 2021 that required another emergency procedure on his heart. Lynyrd Skynyrd's lead and rhythm guitarist, Rosington co-founded the legendary Southern rock band back in the 1960s with Ronnie Van Zant, Alan Collins, Larry Junstrom, and Bob Burns. He was one of 20 survivors in the 1977 plane crash that killed Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, and 3 others per Spin magazine. And following Junstrom's death in 2019, he was the last of the original lineup. So sail on, Gary Rosington. The end of an era, really. And on to our next story here. And let me just give you this headline, because this is a question that I wake up and ask every single day. I do a little shuffle to the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror, and I ask, what is Christina Aguilera obsessed with doing in bed? Now we have the answer. And I'm going to share it with you. But relax, gentlemen. It might not be what you think. Or ladies, too. I don't know. Christina Aguilera is a fox. When Christina Aguilera gets some downtime, she prefers to spend it in bed. I know. Wow, wow, wow. Brown, chicka, brown, wow. doing something she's obsessed with. That's right. She plays video games. Oh, nerds. Celebrate. Speaking to Allure about her beauty regimen, mother of two, Christina says she doesn't fuss with what she calls a 50-step beauty baloney routine. She explains, I'm a mama. I mean, I'd rather be in my bed on my time off playing Nintendo Switch. Asked by the magazine what game she plays, Christina says, I love Mario Party. She said, I mean, I'm obsessed. One of my Christmas gifts from my fiance was like a suitcase that's got a portable TV and a gaming system in it. She says, I do it in the hotel room. She adds that it's a mental de-stress for me. She says, I love it. It helps me get out of my zone, take a moment before I have to get back into it. So we play Mario Party in bed, and it's my happy place. Christina's beauty regimen now includes cosmetic injectables for frown lines between her eyebrows. She's just partnered with the same brand that Joe Jonas partnered with last year from the Jonas Brothers. And while she says we all can rely on a little help, she understands that scrutinizing women's looks and pressure to look young aren't good things. It's a lot of stigma, she said, a lot of old school behavior and ideals that women have to look a certain way and that it's shameful to get older. But she also notes no matter what you do, you're going to have people that hate on you. The bigger you are and the more successful, unfortunately, that comes with more hate and more scrutiny. And I'm a very sensitive person, but I'm also very tough at the end of the day. When she sits down to play her Mario Party. Well, there you know. Now you know what Christina Aguilera is obsessed with doing in bed. Sorry it wasn't more scandalous. But it is what it is. And that's the news, friends. That's the news today. We're going to take another musical break here. When we come back, we've got some celebrity birthdays for you. Maybe a little on this day history. And our shameless plugs, of course. We might even sneak another song in there. We got a little bit of time. Here's one from yours truly. From my album, Songs About You and Every Other Girl. This is Your Name. And you're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We'll be right back.
Before I knew it, I went and blew it and we were through. She said goodbye, I didn't know why, and then I met you. It didn't make sense in the moment that all my earlier attempts at love were all in vain. Then you told me your name and suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained. And now we're changing the game. Sunrise in a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? How my whole life would change when you told me your name. You caught my eye, I thought you were out of my league. Your pretty face, your pretty smile was all I could see. It didn't make sense in the moment that every time that I looked, you were looking at me. Then I knew right where I wanted to be, and suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained. And now we're changing the game. A sunrise and a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? Now my whole life would change when When you told me your name, my heart was never meant for another. It took a while, but now it's plain to see. We didn't even have to look for each other. We just were where we happened to be. Suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained. Now we're changing the game. Sunrise had a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? Told me your name.
All right, we're back with Jams and Coffee in the morning there. And we got some celebrity birthdays for you. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Turning 51 years old today. God, I can't believe it. 51. 7 foot tall. 7 foot tall. He's a center for the NBA, commonly, or a former center for the NBA, commonly known as Shaq. Was a 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 15-time All-Star selection, and 4-time NBA champion. He was drafted first overall by the Orlando Magic back in 1992 and went on to win the NBA MVP award with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2000, as well as 3 straight NBA championships before helping the Miami Heat win the franchise's first ever NBA championship in 2006. Of course, we're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, turning 51 years old today. He's gone on to do many, many things. He's partnered with Burger King. He's partnered with Papa John's. I believe he sits on the board now of Papa John's Pizza. He is a spokesperson for many things, Epson printers, the General car insurance, several other things I've seen him in. I had the pleasure of meeting him one time at a pizza place, not Papa John's, a pizza place I worked at years and years and years and years ago in Orlando. And he was there with his family. And, of course, you know, everybody wanted to eat it. I believe they were the only ones in the restaurant actually eating. And he was just simply the biggest man I've ever seen in real life. His hand was gigantic. It's just a really cool experience. Nice people. And we didn't do any photos or anything. We just, just a quick, hi, nice to meet you situation there. But Shaquille O'Neal turning 51 years old today. Happy birthday, Shaq. In the music world, turning 77 years old today, if you can believe this, lead guitarist in the experimental rock band Pink Floyd. Went on to pursue a solo career as well. Just a wonderful guitarist, and from the legendary band David Gilmour, turning 77 years old today. Hard to believe, but here he is. Happy birthday, David Gilmour. And turning 56 years old today. Best known for playing Tammy Taylor on the hit series Friday Night Lights, she later starred on the popular TV series Nashville and American Horror Story Murder House. In 2018, she began playing Deborah Newell on Bravo's Dirty John. Connie Britton, turning 56 years old today. That's our celebrity birthdays. Not very many today, are there? Let's see if we have any friends having birthdays today. We do have some friends locally celebrating their birthday. Betty, Tony, Brian, and Joey all celebrating their birthdays today. Happy birthday to you guys out there. All right. We do have some celebrities that and notable figures that have long passed, but it would be their birthdays today. Harriet Tubman would be celebrating her birthday today. course, she was an escaped slave who became an abolitionist and Union spy during the Civil War and rescued over 300 slaves using the Underground Railroad we all learned about in elementary school. A network, of course, of secret routes and safe houses that aided runaway slaves. And she also fought for women's suffrage at the end of the Civil War. So really up until the end, just doing the best. She passed away at 93 years old. A nice, long life. Harriet Tubman was born on this day many, many years ago. Another person would be celebrating a birthday today and would be very, very old. Michelangelo, artist Michelangelo, Italian high Renaissance artist who famously painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. His many skills included sculpting, architecture, poetry, and engineering. He also pioneered the Mannerist style at the Laurentine Library. He was 88 when he passed away, but today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Harriet Tubman and Michelangelo. Michelangelo? I don't know how they would have said it in Italy. Somebody help me out. Now, there you have it. Those are all the birthdays. We have some on this day music history. Back in 2001, not so very long ago, still in relatively recent memory. Who doesn't remember Napster? The insanely quick rise and fall of Napster. In the year 2000, just at the turn of the millennium and the century, a new company called Napster created something of a music fan's utopia. A world in which nearly every song ever recorded was instantly available on your home computer for free. That was the sound that you'd get from the record companies, but for the fans, it was awesome. Right. Even to some at the time, it sounded too good to be true, and in the end, it was. The fantasy world that Napster created came crashing down just a year later in 2001 in the face of multiple copyright violation lawsuits, naturally. After a string of adverse legal decisions, Napster Incorporated began its death spiral on March 6th, 2001. It began complying with a federal court order to block the transfer of copyrighted material over its peer-to-peer network. Now, considering that was the entire basis of their business plan, you can tell that would be a massive problem. And they tried to conform. They made a resurgence just a few years later, competing with the Apple iTunes, and you could buy the songs from Napster. It just is never the same. And others came in the what I liked about Napster is they came right out of the gate into the public eye, not in the dark web, and said, this is what we're doing. We don't see anything wrong with it. Now, of course, other companies, BitTorrent comes to mind, or what was the one with the Lime Share, or somebody out here knows what I'm talking about. You let me know what that other one is. LimeWire, perhaps, I think, was the next big one that came after Napster, and they didn't. They just stayed in obscurity for a while. You had to really search for them. But Napster was really nice because it kind of at least filtered some of the nonsense out of there. LimeWire was just, the Wild West. It would say that it's a song and you download it and it's a whole virus for your computer. Really, really just what a time to be alive. The beginning of the internet. Crashing your whole computer for that latest Britney Spears song. What a wonderful time to be alive. And now we got kids born in 2000 have no idea the struggles. They grew up with Spotify and these various programs to let you get whatever you want from the sky. You don't even have to download it anymore. You just stream it from who knows where. We'll always remember Napster. We'll always remember the trolling of Metallica for publicly coming out and openly showing their disdain for Napster. They've seemed to recover. Napster, however, has never really made the big comeback. And, of course, they called it quits shortly thereafter. But as far as I'm concerned, always stamped in history. Thanks for the good times, Napster. All right, you guys, we're going to do one more song here. When we come back, I got some shameless plugs for you. And then I'll get you on your way. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the morning. Here's one from the Matt Ingram Band, whom you can see playing around town here. This is So Far. Don't go away.
Just how far I have come. It's been so long I can still remember where my journey began. Whoa. Is there ever gonna be release from this misery? The way you play your games, when will you set me free? I've come so far. Banished one under the scorching sun, reaching out to an image so clear, but I know there's no one there. Is there ever gonna be release from this misery? The way you play your games, when will you set me free? I've seen it all before, yet you guard and lock the door. Willing to give and pour out my soul. Your heart is hardened to the core. Is there ever gonna be release from this misery? The way you play your games, when will you set me free? I've come so far, right? Come so very far. Is there ever gonna be release from this misery? The way you play your games, when will you set me free? I have come so far. Oh, when will you set me free? I've come so far, I've come so very far.
All right, the Matt Ingram Band there, So Far. And still a look there at a live look at downtown Stewart. My roundabout there. Still waiting to see some sort of shenanigans happen around that roundabout. We'll catch it one of these days. All right, friends, we're going to get you some shameless plugs and then get you on with your day. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I hope that you make your way over to our YouTube channel if you're not already and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell. We'd love for you to do that because we have this show each weekday morning there. And, of course, the Jams and Cocktails live podcast on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. This week, we've got DJ and producer Patrick Coles. We are all big fans of his here on the show. We love his music. He's teamed up with several of our favorites, including podcast alumni Summer Gill. Got a great song featuring her on vocals. And Allegra Miles, in fact, who is of American Idol fame and The Voice fame. So he's doing great things. He's got a lot of new music coming out. We're excited to have him in studio finally to talk about his process and some of the things coming up for Patrick Coles. So make a note. Tune in with us Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Jams and Cocktails live podcast. You can, of course, watch that or listen to it wherever you're watching or listening to the show right now. It will appear there. Of course, if you're listening to the show, we thank you so much on Shore Life Radio. All you waiters out there, Shore Life Radio, our partner radio station. That's available on the TuneIn app or on their website at shoreliferadio.com. Our companion radio station, JNC Radio, available on the Live 365 radio app or our website at jncpodcast.com. Check out our friend Paul's Drums and Rums podcast. He drops podcasts on Tuesdays and has his biggest happy hour and a half hour live stream on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Always a good time. Check out Drums and Rums wherever you get your podcasts. Our partners and sponsors at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart. We're just talking about them. The Bug Juice, bug repellents, and skincare products, in fact. Chesser Custom Designs, laser etching and engraving. I just saw some photos from you out there, Philip. A sign that you made for a friend of yours. I thought that was very nice. I might be calling on you sometime. Pull one of those together for me. BradBrockDesign.com. If you ever need anything designed graphically, let me know. I can help you. If you've ever thought about living on a sailboat, my goodness, you've got to go to LearnToLiveAboard.com. It's a great blog written by my friends Brett and Kim. They've been on their boat for 15 years plus. So check it out, LearnToLiveAboard.com. Yeah, it's the good, bad, and the ugly of living on a sailboat. If you're looking to further your education, and you want to do it completely online, well, consider an MBA program from the Academy of Mid-Florida. My good friend Sal runs that school, and you can get more info on their website at academyofmidflorida.com. So check that out as well. I don't have any one-man band shows coming up until Thursday, so, I know the anticipation is killing you. But you're just going to have to wait. You can find out all of my show dates at bradbrock.com. And my next show will be at Manatee Island in Fort Pierce from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. That's on Thursday. It's going to be a great time. And if you love what we do and you'd like to help us out, I encourage you to join our Patreon page, patreon.com/JNC Podcast. It's $5 a month. Helps us offset some of the cost of doing this. And in return, you get some cool exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Of course, we just put a video up there from Jordan's birthday carnival of a bunch of extra footage of us being in the dunk tank. So if you want to check that out, go and subscribe to our Patreon account and check out all that we have there. And there's more to come to that site as well. And now that does it for my shameless plugs. If you want links to anything that we just talked about, be sure to visit jncpodcast.com, our official website. And everything's available there to spend a little time on. It's a cool site, too, so you could spend a little time there and enjoy the content that we have on jncpodcast.com. And I think, friends, that does it for me here on this show. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your Monday. Kick your week off right. Whatever you do out there, be sure to do it with a smile and be kind to one another out there. Broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge, I'm Brad Brock, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. for another round of Jams and Coffee with the Morning. Bye-bye for now.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.